Hey guys, so we're finally back for American Horror Story Season 12 titled Delicate. Now, this season is probably a very strong season. This is episode 1 review. Like I said, thank you guys for waiting for me. I wanted to come into this season open-minded. I really wanted to make sure that when I'm doing this review, I wanted to go very thoroughly on each and everything that I've seen in episode 1. Now, upon episode 1, there's a lot of things I think this season has done right so far. With the season starting off very strong, I think the cast of characters, even though the characters are not that much, but I think that focusing on what makes a great storyline is definitely having great characters and great chemistries. We also have special guests, actors and actresses that for this season. Now, the season Delicate, this episode title is titled Multiple Pain, which was aired on September 20th, 2023. Now, this was the premiere episode of Delicate, and I think that it opened up very, very strongly. I think that the cast members did something very interesting. Also, I think the storyline is very interesting as well, because I feel as if American Horror Stories tend to create scripts, but this time they're following a novel, which is based on The Delicate Condition by Telly Valentine, which also is a novel, like I mentioned. So Emma Roberts is basically Anna Victoria, who is an actress who wants to start a family, and she failed by doing that, so she's attempting to have a child. So let me ask you guys this: where do you think this is going? So as we know, past seasons of American Horror Stories, we tend to see so many things that happen back to back. And I think this episode opened up so strong, and I was like, finally, American Horror Stories is doing something. It's going back to its roots. It's doing things that it should have done before. And I think back to previous seasons, I think that it should have been something where from the NYC season, I think I went into the season trying to understand what they were trying to do, the concept, and I think that they tried, but I feel as if it wasn't fully strong enough. Like the potential was there to actually do that, but I think they kind of felt kind of flat. So Multiple Pain, Multiply Thy Pain, which is a Bible reference. So I think another thing that I think this season is doing is playing on biblical references, which is a very apocalyptic type of thing. And I know that Apocalypse was one of the seasons that focused on the good and evil of the season and how it branched off from all that, and I think the same thing is that too. So from the novel, we saw that the novel explained that this is a feminist movement of an adaptation of the Rosemary's Baby, and we saw that Emma Roberts' character in the first episode, Anna, she's trying to, like I said, trying to conceive a child. She's trying all her best with her partner to conceive a child. After she's realizing that everything that she has tried to do as an actor, actress, and a celebrity, she is one of those Hollywood stars that, you know, the elites, I would say, right? She's one of those elites, and she's trying to get back on her feet so that way, you know, she could get the job, the Emmy. You know, some people would sacrifice things to get to a higher position, right? So as we start seeing more and more of the episode, we started seeing some elements of horror, and I think I think I could honestly say I appreciate the imagery that they give us, especially on Anna, how she is dealing with the complication of trying to conceive a child, as well as trying to not seem crazy in front of her husband. And Dex, which is I think the husband's name, he's kind of sketchy, and I'm gonna say this already. Like the sketchiness about every time his wife asks for something, or she's trying to say something, he kind of like in a weird way brush it off, like you're acting up again, like you need to control yourself. Like all these little things that I think even if for women, they normally say those things when they're having complications, and I think that the husband don't really believe her. Like he's trying to make sure that, you know, you don't go offline. And from what we've heard is that he was married before, until I think from what we know his wife died and then he got remarried. So a lot of elements of missing someone, trying to replace someone. And then we met another cast member, which is another veteran, Dennis O'Hare, who plays as a doctor. And special guest, we have Miss Kim Kardashian, who is playing the fabulous and creepy Siobhan. And she is very she's a very interesting character, I would say that. Like I said, I always tell people, I don't knock someone until I see what they could do. And I think from the first jump of seeing Siobhan and how her attitude is, she's already a campy type of character. And I think the whole setting of the season is very campy, but it's a very strong it's a very strong setting. And I think that that's a very positive note from the first premiere episode. I think right now we haven't get too much, but we already know that this is how the novel has started. And I think they're still adapting the everybody's settling in. Like all the characters that we're gonna be seeing more and more are now settling in the season. But yeah, so back to what I was saying. So Siobhan basically says that, you know, she's telling Emma Roberts' character Anna that, you know, if you want an Oscar, you want a child, you trying to get your life back, you want the perfect family, you want people to be admired of what you do, this is what it's gonna take. And I think that there's going to be a blurred of the lines that she's gonna do something that she's gonna actually regret. Because when she was walking in the street, there was this woman standing there watching her with some red boots, and she's staring at her with like this high fashion clothes. And you know how even in the different past season, certain characters that dress very flashy tend to be the most dangerous. We could even take that example from the season 5, The Countess. When we first saw Lady Gaga's character, she was very lavish and very elegant and beautiful, right? But at the same time, she was one of the deadliest people in the whole hotel. And I think that's the same thing that caught my eye. This aesthetic of this season is very giving hotel, also is giving Roanoke, and is also giving a cult vibe, right? Because we seeing people that's either after Anna, or they trying to do things to Anna, that something is stopping Anna or something. Even in the opening sequence that I mentioned, that they try and do something with her baby, and I think that will lead on to the next apocalypse. Like I said, this episode is very strong, and I think that from what Siobhan is trying to do now, she's trying to lure in Anna to definitely be part of her either cult or whatever that she's trying to do. And I think that looking at from future on, I think that this is another restart of what happened from continuation of Apocalypse in a weird way, because it's like it's saying that, you know, for anybody that didn't see Apocalypse or anything, spoiler alerts, it's the last time we saw anybody did something in this magnitude where they were trying to conceive a child from even season 1. This is in a different route, and I even mentioned that in future past seasons, where from season 10 double feature, how they had the perfect specimen of people by sacrificing a bunch of other minority groups to get technology, and then in return they took one of the human bodies to produce the perfect alien species, right? So this all could tie in back to that, where the baby that Anna is conceiving is also might be for the greater bad of the world, because it's like the devil is basically like creating another spawn of himself just to cause the next apocalypse. And I think that maybe either in part 2, from what they're saying, that they're gonna continue, because I know it stopped due to the writer's strike, but I think that this season is very, very strong, and I think that it's coming off very, very positively, because the atmosphere of the season is a very dark tone, you know, and it's weird because it's like everything that Anna do right now, she's trying to ask people like, why is this happening to me? And everybody's brushing it off like, no, you know, you're pregnant, you're kind of gonna be like slightly delusional, so you may not try to like do too much. So it's in a way, it's like, you know, when you watch movies where you think you're the only person that's going crazy, but it's not you going crazy, it's just that everybody else is like hiding something from you and they don't want you to know the truth, but you're trying to figure out on your own the way you can. But each time you're trying to get closer to the truth, somebody shift the room for you to not know. Or automatically I'm feeling a lot of sketchy people, including the husband and, you know, the doctor. And then when they got to the hospital to like check on, like, you know, I guess the sonogram or anything, the hospital was very, very creepy. And I think that this set up what episode 2 is gonna be, which we will definitely be covering in the next episode of double feature. Not double feature, but mostly it is like a double feature in a weird way, because it only stopped, from what I heard, is only stopped in 5 episodes. But for Delicate part 2, or Delicate right now, for the next episode, we're definitely gonna see what this is set up of the premiere season is telling us, and who characters you should watch out for and what characters that you shouldn't watch out for. And I think that we already seeing characters of elements of horror that are either showing themselves already, or they trying to contact Anna due to danger. Like, it was the same feeling we got when we saw an Apocalypse, when Timothy got into the outpost and he saw those 666 numbers and somebody was like, beware of Timothy. So let me know what you guys think. I think this episode was very strong, and I think that American Horror Story Delicate is on the right track to be one of the more secure season when it comes to coming back. Like and subscribe. Bye.